Once again, the mass media, which dominates our public discourse, is misrepresenting or misinforming the public about a critical issue. Listen to this reporter give an introduction to why the recent conflict started, and then I'll give you some background information that he neglected to tell you.
What's most rattled Kim Jong-un are 11 vast installations of loudspeakers, which over the last few days have begun broadcasting propaganda into the north. He doesn't like that. He's called that an act of war. Now, the reason the South restarted this propaganda operation after a break of 11 years is a mine attack which badly injured 2 South Korean soldiers just a few days ago.
The pretext is what this reporter characterized as a landmine attack. Supposedly, the reason South Korea has decided to blast propaganda into North Korea was because South Korea claims that on a routine patrol, 3 landmines detonated near their gate. 2 soldiers were severely maimed. 1 soldier lost 2 legs. The other soldier lost his right foot. But North Korea says they weren't behind that. In fact, I'll start with this article here, which says that at first, even South Korea didn't think that North Korea had intentionally done that as an act against South Korea. This is Ben McGrath's article, quote, "While the South Korean government initially ruled out North Korean involvement, it changed its position on August 10th and, without providing concrete evidence, accused Pyongyang, that's the capital of North Korea, of planting the devices." I'll link to Ben McGrath's article in the video description. Now, what he wrote is a very critical claim, so I verified it to make sure that that was accurate, and I found this reported in Stars and Stripes. Quote, "In the hours after the blast, South Korean officials said there was no possibility of North Korean involvement, and recent heavy rains might have displaced the landmines." And as part of my research for this, I had been finding articles where South Korea had found landmines displaced by heavy rains. And here's more from Ben McGrath's article, which, as I said, is linked in the video description. The North denied involvement. On August 14th, it issued a statement asserting, "If South Korea wants to keep insisting this was our Army's act, then show a video to prove it. If you don't have it, don't ever say North Korean provocation again out of your mouth." As the author points out, despite having cameras and thermal sensors monitoring the demilitarized zone, South Korea claims it was unable to pick up any North Korean intrusion across the border to place the mines. The Defense Ministry spokesman stated, "The detonation spot is surrounded by a dense forest in summer and located over a hill, so it is not easy for thermal observation devices to detect movement." But as the author points out, a video camera was nevertheless able to record the explosions. Now, here's 2 possible scenarios. If you look back at this article from just 2 years ago, it said that the South Korean army had been searching for landmines swept away from North Korea. Quote, "Landmines believed to be washed away from North Korea due to heavy rains." Now, South Korea claims that those wooden boxes couldn't float to that area. The rain supposedly couldn't wash things to where that is because it's too high ground. Well, another article points out that North Korea had been planting landmines in the demilitarized zone, apparently to prevent soldiers fleeing North Korea. So not as an aggressive act towards South Korea, but rather to keep their own soldiers from leaving North Korea. But as I said, North Korea rejects that they're behind those landmine blasts, that they did some active aggression towards South Korea. Now, a normal thing would be to have an international review of the situation, not to have South Korea and the United States military command make a determination. But as I said, as that first article pointed out, originally South Korea wasn't even trying to say this. So it looks like the powers that be decided to use this as a pretext for more aggression against North Korea. The people that are in positions of power must be sociopaths to be continually provoking North Korea while we have at stake millions of lives.
It appears that the North Korean military is targeting propaganda speakers that have been set up along the border between North and South Korea. This is something that South Korea started to do just in the recent weeks. It is the resumption of what they call psychological warfare that is using these giant speakers along the DMZ to broadcast anti-North Korean messages into North Korea. Now, this is the sort of thing that really angers this tightly controlled regime, where the regime of Kim Jong-un really controls the messages, any communications that go out into its population.
The latest news is that North Korea and South Korea have reached an agreement. Negotiators agreed to a compromise in which North Korea expressed its regrets for the mine explosions without explicitly acknowledging responsibility for them. So I think the thing is that those landmines weren't set by North Korea to intentionally injure South Korean soldiers, but rather were either to prevent North Korean soldiers from defecting or had floated there from rainstorms, which has happened in the past, as South Korea has acknowledged in the past. And South Korea has agreed to stop their crazy propaganda loudspeaker broadcasts into North Korea. I'll put links to all those articles in the video description. And I'll also put a link in the video description to my blog. You can click here to my blog, or you can click right here to go to my blog. And there you'll find more information about North Korea. You can see several videos I made about North Korea. And speaking of assaults, someone is responsible for pulling the monetization of all my videos about North Korea. So please share this channel with as many people as you can. Please share this video with as many people as you can, because obviously there are people that want to financially sabotage this channel in order to undermine my efforts to get facts out to the people.